Well, I think I'll start with the last question, if I may. I did not speak about a ceasefire or prospects of a ceasefire. I spoke about the situation on the ground. I cannot second guess, not being in the negotiations, what the prospects for a ceasefire are. I can tell you, every day that passes, life in Gaza is unlivable. The risks are high. Disease is continuously at risk of outbreak. Children are not in school. People are living in tents. This is not the Gaza of before the 7th of October. It is hell on earth, so every day that passes impacts people's lives. That was the message. And then, of course, the broader briefing you know. It was a sober and sombering assessment on my part. Now, your question, the resolution is an interesting one. You'll have to ask the council members what they will deliberate. I can tell you what I won't be doing. I'm not going back into Dutch politics. But ultimately, we serve at the pleasure of the Secretary General. The reporting cycle is one that is an important moment, an instrument that is available to the Council. The Council has to deliberate on that. In the meantime, our work continues, and we keep engaging with all parties in support of all the humanitarian actors in Gaza to save lives, alleviate suffering.
Hi, my name is Ibtisam Azim, Al Arabi Al Jadid newspaper. Two questions. First, in the Security Council, during the meeting, on the one hand, the Israeli ambassador said that there's enough aid and food in Gaza. If you could comment on that. On the other hand, the Algerian and the Russian ambassador also talked about the fact that since the adoption of 2020, that there is actually less trucks and aid entering Gaza. If you could clarify that, if you could say something to that, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think what matters, what we report on, is we look at the number of trucks daily, the UN colleagues, that are actually not only reaching the border crossing of Gaza, but actually that we can retrieve and that we can distribute. So there's an ongoing, I would say, discussion with the Israeli authorities about their numbers. Some of it can be supplies accumulated and accruing at Gaza border crossings, such as Kerem Abu Salem, Kerem Shalom. But ultimately, when you look at the recipients, the people of Gaza, if we can't retrieve it due to lawlessness, if we can't retrieve it due to the evacuation orders, the fact that fighting is ongoing, and the list is long, as you know, it doesn't really matter if it's at the border. It has to be in Gaza, it has to be distributed. And then it also basically speaks to the enabling environment, the lack of effective deconfliction, the denials, the delays at crossings. We know the security incidents. They've been amply commented on, also by myself. What matters is what is the percentage that actually gets in. And from the first time I took on this role for 2720, I've said we should stop counting trucks. It's not about trucks. It's about what people need in its totality as fellow human beings. And then we're way, way off what people need, not only daily, but also what we would all consider a dignified human life.
Javier?
Mr. Javier Ortaz from FN News. How can you describe your cooperation with the government of Israel in general during your mission?
Well, we have had constructive meetings always. I'm received at the highest levels. I meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu, members of his war cabinet. I also meet with the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces across the board. My mission has received the facilitation. We've received the visas and all the facilitation that is required to do our work. I speak for my mission in this particular question.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.